From wherever you're watching in Australia, New Zealand, or around the world, my name is Landon Blackhall, and this is the Oz Poker Report. "2023 is already shaping up to be a massive year for Australian poker, kicking off with the APL-PT Queensland Series at Southport Sharks. Running through until this coming Sunday, the APL-PT Queensland Series is estimated at $750,000 in total prize pools, with 28 events to be scheduled across 6 days. Building upon their collective success from the last 2 years, the APL and the Full House Group have already promised more for their players. They've already released their full event schedule for 2023, and with it comes the brand new 100K Invitational. All players who earn themselves a trophy at any one of the APL majors will automatically qualify for this event, which will offer a $30,000 first prize. Not bad for a free roll. For more information, including all the eligible events and full terms and conditions, visit playapl.com. As mentioned, it's going to be a huge year for Aussie poker, and the headlines have already started streaming in. As reported last week by PMA, the Global Poker Index Player of the Year rankings were revealed, with Yita Chung taking out the Australian Player of the Year title. There was an interesting development in the Australian Female Player of the Year race, however, as it was revealed that Angelina Rich, who was originally listed by the Hendon mob as an Australian, is in fact an American citizen by birth. There were a couple of interesting points that came up during the course of our little investigation once we'd received this new information. The first one being, of course, was that Angelina's first major tournament victory was in fact on Aussie soil. This was back at the 2015 Aussie Millions. But the second point I'd like to make, and I'm not sure whether or not this comes into play here, but the place of residence against Angelina's profile was Linwood, WA. Now, this is where it gets interesting. There is a suburb of Linwood in Perth, WA, but there's also a Linwood in Seattle, Washington, which is also abbreviated to WA. And the Linwood in WA, or Washington, I should say, is in fact spelt with 2 N's. So we're unsure as to whether or not this geographical information may have resulted in the Y's being crossed, as it were. But importantly, this information is now being updated as we speak, and we very much appreciate the assistance of the poker community. In particular, we'd like to thank our friends at the GPI and the Hendon mob for helping us out with that, as well as Angelina Rich and Janet Wyville for their patience and understanding. And of course, it would be remiss of us to not take this opportunity to congratulate Janet on all her success, as she is now officially the #1 female Australian Player of the Year. What a fantastic achievement. And a friendly reminder that if you are looking to up your game and want to learn from some of the best in the business, Janet Wyville is hosting the very special Poker Mentoring for Women seminar at the upcoming North Queensland Classic at the Ville Resort in Townsville. That's running from the 7th to the 11th of February. If you'd like to know more, log on to jdubpoker.com. And now some news on the PMA front. And before I get into it, I just wanted to take this opportunity on behalf of Ben Blaschke and the entire team at PMA to thank you all for your support over these last couple of years. It has been an incredible ride being able to provide the best possible news and live reporting coverage from major events across the country. And as part of our commitment to ensure that you are getting more coverage of more events more often, we are now in the midst of building a regular monthly schedule of content. So you would have already seen our PMA diary dates come out last week. So that's going to be an ongoing monthly column. You'll also see the Oz Poker Report, as you are watching now, that will all be released in a video form along with an international news section. We'll also be doing some op-ed pieces. We'll be bringing back the PMA podcast, and we've also got the return of the PMA Q&A, which will now be known as the PMA Forum. So that will be a Discord only event where you'll get an opportunity to jump in with members of the poker industry, be able to talk about the topics of the day, and of course engage with your fellow poker fanatics. So for more information on that, keep an eye out on all our socials, and don't forget to follow us if you haven't already done so. But what we can promise you is that this will be the biggest year yet for PMA, and we simply cannot wait to share it with all of you. So make sure you log on to PokerMedia.com.au to keep up with all that's happening on and around the Aussie felt. And speaking of news, one of the things that I wanted to touch on was, well, I guess you could say it's more or less the collective response from the global poker community in regards to the feature film Poker Face, which features Russell Crowe. Poker Face, which was distributed by Australian streaming service Stan in late 2022, has received, well, let's face it, less than favourable reviews from mainstream media critics. It's currently rating at 9% on the tomato meter over at Rotten Tomatoes. But what is ultimately the proverbial nail in the coffin for this film? Poker News had their say on this issue, and US editor John Sofin did not hold back. Now, without going too much into it, because believe me, PMA will be having their say on this as well in the coming days, just Google search Poker News, Poker Face Review. You'll be able to check that out there. But believe me when I tell you that this is scorched earth stuff, the likes of which I haven't seen in a long, long time. It's brutal. And finally, one of the other big events to look out for is the APT Brisbane Season 6 launch. This is going to be huge. 1.5 million in series prize pool estimates. Mixed games galore, and it's being held once again at the iconic Eaton's Hill Hotel in Brisbane. It kicks off this Sunday, the 15th of January, and running through up until the 22nd. PMA will also be on the ground to bring you social media updates and photos, along with our friends at Maddox Mindset, who'll be bringing you their daily video content, along with feature table streaming from Tom Bauer and the team at LCA Poker. All that and plenty more coming your way, so be sure to follow PMA over on our website, PokerMedia.com.au, and be sure to like and follow us on our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and YouTube. So until next time, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you out on the field again real soon. Until then, it's bye for now.